And joining me now from Congress, it's Congressman Ken Buck. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I am disgusted this morning. I'm not going to lie. I am not at all surprised that the Senate is going to cave and do a clean, they call it a clean bill. But what it is it's an amnesty vote for President Obama's blanket amnesty plan. And they're going to do that probably for, today? Maybe today or tomorrow? And go ahead.
Your guess is as good as mine over in the Senate.
So let's talk about what this means in the grand scheme of things, though, because your people sent out a press release this morning. You are not happy about this.
No, I'm not happy with what the Senate's doing at all. I obviously don't have any control over that, but I can tell you the mood with the members that I'm talking to in the House is that we're sticking to our guns. The president has issued an unconstitutional executive order, and we cannot fund it legally.
You have a great commentary today in the Washington Times, and I'll put a link to it on the blog today. But this is almost it comes across in the column, and correct me if I'm wrong. It almost feels like a personal thing, and I don't mean personal for you. I mean personal for the American people. That's kind of how you're presenting it, as if the president has no regard for the majority of Americans who feel strongly that there should be a process that goes through to deal with the immigration issues that we have.
Mandy, it's true in so many areas. You start with Obamacare. Recently, he issued an executive order declaring Browns Canyon a national monument. In Colorado, we have a long history of getting groups together and preserving our natural beauty. It's not done by executive order, and the same with immigration. I've been in Judiciary Committee now where we've had 4 or 5 bills that we are debating on guest worker programs. We're taking input from witnesses. We are, considering different members' views and trying to come up with the best plan for America. It doesn't come with the stroke of a pen from the Oval Office.
What I just heard there, it's kind of interesting because I haven't been in Colorado that long, but yet, that is something that many people have prided themselves on for a long time here. And I think that was one of the reasons that people were so unhappy with the way that the local and state Democrats here kind of shoved the gun bills through. There is that that sense of collaboration that has been a cornerstone, I think, in Colorado for a long time. Are you finding in D.C. any effort of collaboration?
Oh, absolutely. I sit with Democrats on the floor. I talk to Democrats. We're working together on different issues. And then I got to tell you, privately, a lot of Democrat members are very upset with this president for his tactics. But then you've got this president who doesn't consult with his own party, much less the speaker or majority leader in the Senate. And issues these executive orders that are just he's just poking people in the eye. He's just trying to get a reaction, it seems.
Well, I honestly feel like, and this is my perception, is that he knows, and the fact that the Senate is going to do a vote on a bill that does not defund his amnesty, President Obama knows that no one's going to stop him, Congressman. And that's how it feels. That's how he appears. And until someone does stop him, I think this is what we're going to see for the next 2 years, as you see a president who recognizes that his party has taken a beating in the last 2 election cycles, who recognizes that it is not a sure thing for a Democrat in the White House. And he's going to try and do as much stuff by executive order that's damn near impossible to undo in the next 2 years until someone stops him.
Let me tell you, any Democrats who are celebrating now had ought to be careful, because I am just as afraid of a Republican president acting like a monarch as I am a Democrat president. And if this president starts setting precedent that the country will be run by executive order, you better believe that the next president is going to do the same thing. And it's wrong, and it needs to stop now. And I believe that the House will stand strong. At least I will stand strong on this issue. And I believe that other members of the House will also.
I was going to ask you if you had a chance to talk to other members of your caucus and find out what their thoughts are, because now if this bill passes in the Senate today, it still has to come back to the House, because this is not what you guys voted on. So it has to go to conference, and you guys have to come to some kind of understanding. Have you had a chance to talk with any of your colleagues about their thoughts on this bill? And do you know if John Boehner has enough Democratic votes to pass this without full Republican support?
Well, first, let me answer the second question. I think John Boehner has done the honorable thing all the way along on this and has spoken very clearly about the fact that the House has done its job. It's now up to the Senate to do their job. And we believe that we're holding a hearing today in the Judiciary Committee that talks about whether the president's executive action is unconstitutional. I'm part of a group called the Freedom Caucus. It's a group of conservative members of the House that meet on a regular basis, and we met last night. We haven't taken a position on this, but the sense that I get from listening to the discussion in the room is that most of the conservatives in the House are going to stick to our guns on this issue.
So would there's a lawsuit that was just, it's not just filed, but a stay was recently issued by a Texas judge on President Obama's amnesty order as 22 states sue, challenging its legality. Is this something that your caucus, and I know you're not speaking for the caucus, I want to be clear about that, but, would you guys be willing to file, or you even be willing to file an amicus brief if that would be available to say, look, we support these states in this? I mean, something's got to give, something has got to let the president know that he is being checked, and it's certainly not going to come out of the Senate.
Absolutely. Yes, I think the lawsuit is appropriate. I think that the first thing, our Attorney General in Colorado should join the lawsuit. Colorado is not one of the 26 states that has joined this lawsuit. I would be honored to sign on to an amicus brief. It's now in front of the Fifth Circuit. And I think it's absolutely appropriate that the members of Congress let the courts know that it's not the feeling in Congress that we should be governed by executive action.
I just got this email, and it's from Chris, and it said, "Hi, Mandy. I voted Republican since Perot. They just won a landslide election, and they cave and stand for nothing and won't fight Obama. Give me a reason, any reason, that I should vote Republican in the future." It's a tough question, Ken.
Well, it's not for me. Ken Buck is standing with Chris, and I will continue to stand with Chris. And there are a lot of us that believe that the Constitution is the rule book, and we're going to follow the Constitution. There are others in our caucus and in the Republicans' House, and especially in the Senate, it appears, that are more interested in compromise than they are in standing on principle.
I don't know if that answers this question, though, because the party, in my mind, and let me just be frank, I cannot stand Mitch McConnell. I can't stand him. I wish he wasn't the Senate Majority Leader. I wish someone else was in that position. So when you've got establishment guys like Mitch McConnell who will say and do anything to get elected, that's how I feel about that guy. And I'm not asking you to weigh in on Mitch McConnell, by the way. But you've got those people as the face of the party. And you've got a guy like Chris who emails me and says, and the analogy I always use is Lucy putting the football down for Charlie Brown and then pulling it away. How many times are we supposed to run up and try and kick the football with the Republicans to have them yank it away before we say, screw you, we're not going to kick your football anymore?
Mandy, let me say this. I'm not suggesting that you vote for party at all, but I am suggesting that people who are Republicans who stand for principle deserve the votes of conservatives in Colorado.
Ken, I appreciate that. I think that was a very diplomatic hedge. I don't think you're wrong, though. I don't think you're wrong. It's just, it's frustrating when the people who are the national face of the party, I think, do it more harm than good. And you got guys like you got guys like Cory Gardner, you got guys that are in it for what I think are the right reasons. And I feel like you are constantly going to have to fight the battles of the people that are not the same kind of Republican you are. And it's unfortunate, but I guess this is just the nature of party politics.
I guess so. I have one vote out of 435. I'm honored to have that vote, and that vote will always be cast to uphold the Constitution.
Well, Ken, I appreciate you continuing the fight. Perhaps we can check back again and talk about this when it comes back to the House. And if you have any more information about the Freedom Caucus and what you guys are hoping to make happen, I appreciate it. I really do. Congressman Ken Buck, I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
No, thank you.